Welcome back, chess fans. Like this video and subscribe for more thrilling games. This is a book move. The opening is called Geet Opening.
Pawn to d5 is the best move.
Pawn to b4 is inaccuracy. An opportunity to take a pawn was lost. This permits the opponent to attack a piece. The opponent can play a fifth. Knight catches on b5 is best. This captures a free pawn.
Preparing to develop the queenside pawns and control the pawn to d5 square, pawn to c6 also slightly weakens the kingside pawn structure, but it's a common opening move in the Geet Opening.
I play pawn to 4 to challenge black's control of the queenside and prepare to develop the rest of my pieces. This move also pins black's knight on b5, making it harder for them to maneuver.
Pawn to e6 is the best move.
Knight to f3.
Bishop captures on b4.
Knight catches on e5.
Bishop to d6 is the best move.
Knight to f3 is the best move.
Bishop captures on c3.
Pawn catches on c3.
I played pawn captures on a4 to challenge Napat's control of the queenside and create space for my pieces to develop. The pawn sacrifice also pins Napat's knight, forcing him to respond to the potential threat on the queenside.
Pawn to g3.
Knight to f6 is best. This develops a knight.
Developing the bishop to a strong central square, preparing to control the kingside and potentially attacking black's position.
Kingside castle is best.
I chose to play rook captures on a4 to challenge Napat's pawn structure and create a potential weakness on the queenside. The move also pins the knight on b5, making it difficult for black to maneuver.
Rook to e8 is a solid move, supporting the pawn storm on the queenside and preparing to develop the rest of the pieces. It also puts pressure on black's position, making it harder for them to maneuver.
Preparing to castle kingside, avoiding potential pins on the king and supporting the pawn structure on the queenside.
Pawn to d5 is good. Bishop to f5 is best. This develops a bishop.
Pawn to c4 is the best move.
Knight from file b to d7 is excellent. This develops a knight. Bishop to f5 is best. This develops a bishop.
Pawn captures on d5.
Knight to b6.
Rook to h4.
Pawn captures on d5.
Developing the bishop to a strong central square, putting pressure on black's position and preparing to control the pawn to d5 square, while also eyeing the pawn on pawn to b5 and potentially creating a pin on black's knight.
I played pawn to f5 to challenge black's control of the queenside and prepared to potentially push d4, putting pressure on black's position and forcing them to respond to the potential pawn storm.
Knight to f4 is best.
Bishop to f5 is excellent. This develops a bishop. Rook to b8 is best. This develops a rook. By placing the rook on an open file, it controls important columns.
Pawn to c4 is the best move.
Rook to b8.
I play pawn to c5 to challenge black's control of the center and prepare to develop my queenside pieces. The move also pins black's knight on c6, creating a potential weakness.
Knight from file b to d7 is the best move.
Bishop captures on f6 is best. This is a trade.
Knight captures on f6 pins the black knight on f6, gaining a strong initiative and preparing to launch a kingside attack. This move also opens up the f-file for the rook to potentially use later.
Knight captures on d5 is best.
Rook to e5 is good. This defends a bishop on f5. Knight captures on d5 is best. This is a trade.
Knight captures on f6 check.
Queen captures on f6 is good. This defends a rook on f5. Pawn captures on f6 is best. This defends a rook on f5.
Pawn to c6 is good. Rook to c4 is best. This defends a pawn on c5.
Rook to b1 is inaccuracy. The opponent can play qx pawn. Rook to c5 is best.
Preparing to develop the queen and putting pressure on black's position. Queen to d2 also pins black's knight on d7, creating a potential weakness.
I played rx pawn plus to put pressure on black's position and create a potential fork on the kingside, forcing Napat to respond to the check while also potentially gaining a material advantage.
King captures on f1 is best.
I played rook to c5 to attack black's pawn on c6, creating a potential pin on black's knight on c7. This move also prepares to develop the rest of my pieces and puts pressure on black's position.
Rook to a4 is excellent. Bishop to f3 is best.
Rook to c2 is excellent. This attacks the queen. Pawn to h5 is best.
Queen to e3.
I played pawn to h5 to challenge black's kingside pawn structure and create a potential weakness on the kingside. This move also prepares to potentially push pawn to d4 and gain a strong initiative.
Bishop to f3 is good. This attacks the pawn. Rook captures on a5 is inaccuracy. The opponent can play qd4.
preparing to develop the kingside, supporting the pawn on f5 and potentially creating a weakness on the kingside, but also gaining a strong pawn center and controlling the pawn to d5 square.
Pawn to h4 is the best move.
I play king to h7 to prepare for the potential pawn storm on the kingside, pinning the black knight on pawn to f6 and creating a potential weakness on the kingside. This move also opens up the g-file for potential rook activity.
Pawn to f3 is best.
Queen to b2 is good. Bishop to e6 is best. This offers a trade. This attacks the bishop.
I play king to f2 to prepare for the potential pawn storm on the queen side, supporting the pawn and putting pressure on black's position. This move also helps to control the pawn to d5 square, making it harder for black to play. d5.
Queen to b5.
Rook to d4.
I play queen to c5 to put pressure on black's position and prepare to launch a potential attack on the kingside. The move also pins black's knight on c6, making it difficult for them to defend against potential attacks.
Bishop captures on f7 is the best move.
I played rook to c1 to prepare for the potential pawn storm on the queen side, putting pressure on black's position and preparing to potentially create a pass pawn. This move also helps to support the central pawns and prepares for potential kingside expansion.
Queen captures on c5 is the best move.
Attacking the black pawn on c5, creating a potential weakness and gaining a strategic advantage. This move also opens up the d-file for the rook to potentially use later in the game.
Pawn to e4.
Bishop to e6 is best. This offers a trade.
King to e3.
King to g7 is good. Rook to c1 is best.
King to d4.
I played rook to c1 to prepare for the potential pawn storm on the queen side, putting pressure on black's position and creating a threat against the king. This move also helps to support the pawn and prepares for a potential file attack.
King to e5 is a strong move, attacking black's pawn on pawn to e5 and gaining a strong initiative. It also pins black's knight on s6, forcing them to respond to the attack. This move sets up a potential fork on the king side, putting pressure on black's position.
Pawn to a4.
Bishop captures on e6.
Pawn captures on e6 is excellent. Rook captures on c6 is best.
King to d6 is the best move.
I played pawn to 3 to prepare for the potential pawn storm on the queen side, supporting the pawn and preparing to potentially push d4, while also eyeing the black pawn on pawn to c6 and the potential weakness on b5.
Pawn to c7 is the best move.
King to f6 is excellent. This defends the pawn on s6. Pawn to g5 is best.
I played king to d7 to support the pawn on pawn to e4 and prepare for a potential pawn storm on the queen side, while also putting pressure on black's position and forcing them to respond to the threat of a potential pawn to a4 push.
Pawn to a2 is best. This offers a trade.
Rook captures on a2 is the best move.
Rook to d1 check is the best move. The game is over. White wins.